So, Camilla Parker BS found out she was being demoted from the same press release the general public reads on a Tuesday morning. And honestly, the fact that nobody in that palace picked up the phone to warn her is the whole story. Like, forget the titles and the patronages for a second. The most telling detail here isn't what was taken away. It's how she found out. You don't accidentally overlook telling the Queen Consort that her entire schedule is being cleared. That's not an oversight, that's a message. Before we get into the mess, do me a quick favor and hit subscribe to Palace Files so you don't miss any updates on this royal restructure. It takes 2 seconds and it genuinely helps the channel. Now, back to Camilla. I'm 75 years old, she reportedly said to staff, and I can't remember anybody except the Queen being there. That line says everything about where her head is right now. She spent decades navigating this institution, surviving public hatred, being called a homewrecker, living in the shadow of Princess Diana. And she did it all by playing a long game. She waited. She endured. She never did the big interview. She never tried to rehab her image through a PR blitz. She just stayed quiet, stayed close to Charles, and let time do the work. And it worked. By the time Charles ascended the throne in 2022, she had gone from the most hated woman in Britain to Queen Consort with a quiet respect of Queen Elizabeth II herself, who apparently recognized that Camilla had actually grown into the role. So to go from decades of careful strategy finally paying off, to finding out through a press release that your responsibilities are being stripped, that your patronages have been reassigned, that your name is missing from state visit schedules, and that nobody thought to tell you, that's not a restructuring, that's an eviction notice written in diplomatic language. The official palace statement used all the right words: streamlining, realignment of duties, greater efficiency, modernization. But royal watchers noticed immediately what wasn't there: Camilla's name, missing from key state functions, missing from diplomatic briefings, missing from the calendar of upcoming high-profile events. Several of her long-standing patronages had been quietly reassigned, some to Kate, some to newer, younger faces. Events she had presided over for more than a decade were either rebranded or canceled entirely. And according to sources inside Clarence House, Camilla learned about all of it the same way we did, through a press release. Staff members described her reaction as volcanic. According to one courtier, she exclaimed, "After everything I've done, he does this." The he, obviously, is Prince William. This is where the timeline gets interesting, because this wasn't some sudden decision that caught everyone off guard. The restructured document had been circulating internally for months. It was described as a comprehensive strategy for modernizing royal functions. King Charles had seen drafts of it. He had even signed off on portions of it. But according to insiders, he didn't fully understand the implications for his wife. Whether that's genuine or convenient royal misdirection is up for debate, but the result is the same. Camilla was blindsided by lunchtime on the day the documents went wide. She had requested a private audience with Charles, not with William, not yet, with her husband. And what happened in that room was reportedly explosive. "Did you know about this?" she demanded, holding the documents up like evidence in the trial. Charles hesitated. That hesitation told her everything she needed to know. "This is a betrayal," she said. "I stood with you when they spit on my name. They labeled me a witch. So now I'm just dropped." Charles tried to explain that William was taking on more leadership responsibilities, that the decisions were strategic rather than personal. Camilla didn't accept it. She saw William's fingerprints all over every page. So a second meeting was scheduled. This time just 3 people in the room: Charles, Camilla, and William. And from what insiders describe, Camilla entered with cold intent. She wasn't going to plead, she was going to confront. "You were depriving me of the responsibilities I earned," she told William. "Not inherited, not married into, earned." William didn't flinch. He spoke softly but firmly. "It's about the future, Camilla. The populace wants a monarchy that represents the future generation. I'm preparing for that. It's not about penalizing you, it's about clarity." But here's the thing about that word clarity. When William's advisors talk about clarity, they're talking about something very specific. They're talking about a monarchy that's lean, young, and free of scandal. A monarchy where every face represents the brand. And Camilla, with her tangled past and her step-family lengths and decades of tabloid baggage, doesn't fit the picture William is creating. One royal source put it more bluntly. William views the monarchy as a business. Each face represents the brand. He wants it clean, young, and free of scandal. Camilla does not suit the picture. That's not about disrespect. It's about control. William's vision for the monarchy is ruthlessly pragmatic. He knows the importance of modern media. He understands the necessity of communicating with younger generations, and he knows that the crown's future is determined by survival, not sentiment. So when Camilla told him, "You're not king yet, and if you think I'll go quietly, you don't understand me at all," she wasn't just being dramatic. She was naming the actual dynamic. William is not king, Charles is still on the throne. But Charles, by multiple accounts, sat through that meeting, pale, weary, and emotionally conflicted. Some aides afterward muttered that he appeared to have lost control of his own court. The meeting ended without a resolution, no apologies, no reversal of restructuring. Camilla stormed out first. William left second unaffected. And according to one palace staff member, Charles sat alone in the room for about an hour. It was the day the throne cracked, they explained. Not publicly, but behind closed doors, you could feel it. Now, to understand why this hit Camilla so hard, you have to understand what she actually built over the past 50 years. Camilla Rosemary Shand never expected to wear a crown. She wasn't bred for it. No royal blood, no pedigree to rival the Windsor, no media training. For most of her life, she was the woman the monarchy wished would just disappear. She met Charles in the 1970s, long before Diana, long before the scandal. They formed an immediate bond, but the establishment had different ideas. She was deemed unsuitable, too experienced, too independent, too much her own person. So Charles was encouraged to choose a more appropriate bride. That bride was Lady Diana Spencer. What followed was a love triangle so notorious it overshadowed practically every royal narrative for decades. Camilla was the villain, the other woman, the mistress, the destroyer of fairy tales. She was chased by paparazzi, harassed in newspapers, publicly humiliated. For years she stayed silent in the shadows while the world picked her apart. But Camilla was not weak, she was patient. As Diana's marriage to Charles deteriorated, and the truth about Camilla and the Prince of Wales became clearer, something remarkable happened. Camilla adapted rather than crumbling. She didn't seek the spotlight, she didn't do interviews, she didn't try to repair her image through flash and fame. She stayed quiet, composed, and close to Charles. And the public gradually softened, not overnight, not easily, but with consistency. Through charitable efforts, through modesty, through a refusal to fight fire with fire, Camilla rebuilt her story not with words, but with actions. When she and Charles finally married in 2005, the public reaction was cautious, but not hostile. She was given the title Duchess of Cornwall, deliberately avoiding the Princess of Wales title that had become synonymous with Diana. That choice alone showed how politically aware she had become. She knew exactly how to navigate the court of public opinion. Behind palace doors, her power was expanding. She became one of Charles's most valued advisors. Staff members praised her as bright, politically aware, and unafraid to speak truth to power. She was more than a supportive spouse. She was a strategist. Over time, she took on more royal duties, formed patronages, and even earned the quiet admiration of Queen Elizabeth II, who recognized Camilla as someone who had endured and matured. So, when Charles finally ascended the throne in 2022, Camilla wasn't a footnote anymore. She was Queen Consort. The title was the final acknowledgement of her transformation, a capstone to a journey that had once seemed impossible. And for a brief moment, it looked like she had finally found her place, not just beside Charles, but within the heart of the monarchy itself. But Camilla had one secret wish that never got formally acknowledged. Those closest to her say she wanted her family, particularly her grandchildren, to be welcomed into the royal fold. She didn't openly demand titles for them. She just wanted a monarchy that recognized her legacy, not just her presence. That dream was never formally rejected. It was just quietly ignored. And now with William taking a more dominant role as Charles's health and stamina dwindle, Camilla is facing a reorganization where her influence is being systematically reduced. The future she thought she helped create is being redesigned without her. What makes this particularly brutal is the way Kate Middleton has been positioned throughout all of this. While Camilla raged behind palace doors, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, rose gracefully, silently, and with deliberate precision. To the public, she's just the future king's loyal wife, poised and stylish. But insiders at the palace realized that Kate wasn't merely ascending, she was being positioned. Camilla saw it happening in real time. For years, she had kept Kate at arm's length, watching her rise from commoner to duchess to princess, always composed, always popular, but never challenging Camilla's position as queen consort. That changed as soon as Charles gained the throne. With Charles distracted by the demands of his new post, and William going deeper into leadership, a void in visibility opened up. Kate filled it effortlessly. First, there was a shift in public engagement. Kate started appearing more frequently, often solo, with greater prominence than before. Charities once associated with Camilla's name were abruptly reallocated to the Princess of Wales under the guise of modernizing causes. Kate's remarks became more authoritative, her outfit selections more regal, her presence more purposeful. One senior courtier admitted, "There's a new energy surrounding Kate. It's not an accident. Every photograph, comment, and event is orchestrated. She's being promoted." The press noticed too. Headlines shifted from Queen Camilla attends to Princess Kate leads. It wasn't subtle anymore. The narrative was changing. Camilla was losing not just her duties, but her place in the spotlight. The most painful part for Camilla wasn't even that Kate was succeeding. It was that William appeared to be facilitating it. He made sure Kate was center stage at state gatherings. He assigned her high visibility responsibilities. Every public move the couple made, from hand-holding to coordinated appearances, portrayed unity, youth, and strength. They represented the monarchy's future, and Camilla believed they were erasing her from the present. Worse were the murmurs among staff, aides, and even in the media that William regarded Kate, not Camilla, as the actual queen in waiting. Not in title yet, but in symbolism and power and influence. The implication was clear. When Charles steps down, whenever that day comes, the public will already envision Kate in the role. Camilla will be a footnote, a vestige from the former era, and William's plan was essentially foolproof, because every time a story about Camilla's diminishing presence started gaining traction, a distracting headline would appear. Kate visiting a children's hospital, George attending a new royal engagement, a family photo release. The press, eager for content, cooperated. The public remained largely oblivious, but not everyone was buying it. Social media started buzzing. Royal observers scrutinized the palace websites, revised profiles, noting Camilla's absence from important sections. Online sleuths investigated canceled events. Twitter threads debated the sudden change in visibility. TikTok videos went viral showing Camilla front and center last year compared to her near-total absence. Now the official outlets said nothing. It was a narrative war, and William was winning, until a final leak shifted the momentum. An unidentified palace aide told a major Sunday newspaper that Camilla confronted Charles in tears, wanting to know why she was being excluded from the inner circle. The story exploded not because it was sensational, but because it confirmed what many people already suspected. The Queen Consort hadn't taken a step back. She'd been pushed. And with that, the blackout cracked. Commentators started asking actual questions. Why didn't Camilla attend the state banquet? Why had Kate dominated so many of her appearances? Why had the palace refused to clarify any of this? The royal family, so careful to maintain unity, was once again facing rumors of internal warfare. Only this time, Diana wasn't at the center. It was Camilla. So where does this leave her now? Officially, she remains Queen Consort. The title is still there, but functionally she's been reduced to a ceremonial shadow, watching as the institution she helped sustain is remade in real time without her input. There were no press releases announcing her demotion, no royal decrees stripping her of honor. But the signs are unmistakable. Her absence from high-profile events, her name vanishing from official briefings, Kate gradually absorbing her role. And the worst part is, this isn't a controversy driven by public outrage. It's a slow, deliberate transformation planned from within, led by William, sanctioned by silence, disguised by press diversion. Camilla feels deeply betrayed, not because she craved authority, but because she genuinely believed she had earned her place. She stood with Charles through his hardest days. She faced mockery, alienation, and decades in the shadows. She believed that by reaching the crown, her position in royal history would be secure, but history appears to have different plans. She's now faced with an impossible choice. Does she remain dignified, dutiful, and increasingly invisible, or does she push back, creating further strain in an already fragile royal dynamic? Those close to her say she's torn. Behind the palace walls, a storm is still brewing, not about titles, not about schedules, about legacy. Because in this new era of monarchy, leaner, more controlled, and ruthlessly strategic, loyalty doesn't protect legacy anymore. It's been superseded by relevance. Camilla's crown may still rest on her head as William's vision for the House of Windsor moves forward, but its power has already been transferred to someone else. And the person who orchestrated that transfer didn't even feel the need to tell her it was happening. Think about the psychological weight of that. This is a woman who navigated one of the most hostile public environments imaginable. She was the subject of tabloid cruelty that would have broken most people. She was blamed for the collapse of a fairy tale cast as the villain at a narrative that spanned continents. And she survived it, not by fighting back, not by demanding sympathy, but by absorbing the blows and continuing forward. She played the long game better than almost anyone in modern royal history. She understood that time was the only currency that mattered in that institution, and she was right. Time did heal the wounds. Time did soften the public. Time did elevate her to the throne beside the man she loved. But what she didn't account for, what perhaps nobody accounted for, was that time can also be weaponized against you. That a younger generation, her own stepson, would wield the future itself as a tool to push her aside. The irony is almost too sharp to bear. Camilla spent decades being told she wasn't suitable, that she didn't belong, that she was a liability to the crown. She proved everyone wrong through sheer endurance. And now, after all of that, she's being told essentially the same thing again. Not by the tabloids this time, not by public opinion, but by the very institution she sacrificed everything to join. The message isn't coming from outside the palace gates anymore, it's coming from inside the family. And that has to sting in a way that no newspaper headline ever could, because when the public rejected her, she had Charles. She had their private world, their shared understanding, their mutual devotion. But now Charles is caught between his wife and his son, between his past and the future of the monarchy, between loyalty and legacy. And by all accounts, he's frozen, not choosing sides, but not stopping what's happening either. And in a family like this, silence is a choice too. What makes the situation even more complex is the question of Harry, because while all of this is unfolding, the specter of the younger son looms in the background. Harry, who left the institution, who criticized it openly, who wrote a memoir that exposed its inner workings, remains a constant reminder of what happens when family members are pushed too far. Camilla is no Harry. She's not going to sit down with Oprah or publish a tell-all. That's not her style. But the palace has to be aware that pushing her into a corner carries risks. She knows where the bodies are buried. Figuratively speaking, she's been inside the machine for decades. She's witnessed decisions, conversations, and compromises that the public has never even imagined. She's not a threat to reveal those things. But the potential exists, and that potential hangs in the air unspoken. William's team is surely calculating that she won't cross that line, that her loyalty to Charles, even now, will keep her contained. But calculations can be wrong. People under enough pressure can behave in ways nobody predicted. And Camilla, for all her composure, is clearly under enormous pressure. The dynamic between Camilla and Kate deserves a closer look too, because it's more nuanced than simple rivalry. These are two women who share a remarkably similar trajectory. Both were outsiders. Both were scrutinized, criticized, and compared to Diana. Both had to learn the impossible art of royal composure under fire. In another timeline, they might have been allies, even friends. But the structure of the monarchy doesn't allow for that kind of solidarity. The institution is a hierarchy, not a sisterhood. There's only room for one queen at a time. And right now, Kate is the future and Camilla is the past. That's not personal. It's structural, but it feels personal when you're the one being phased out. It feels personal when you see your patronage is handed to a younger woman. It feels personal when the cameras that once followed you now follow her. It feels personal when your husband's son makes decisions about your life without consulting you. Camilla may understand the logic intellectually, but emotionally this has to be devastating. And what about Charles in all of this? The king is not a minor character in this drama. He's the pivot point. His health has been a subject of public concern. His reign, long anticipated, has been shadowed by illness and the weight of transition. He waited longer than any heir in British history to take the throne. And now that he has it, he's watching his influence being quietly redirected toward his son. That's the natural order of monarchy. Of course, the heir prepares. The king eventually steps back. But there's a difference between a gradual transition and a sudden sidelining. Charles may have approved the restructure in principle, but did he understand how it would land on his wife? Did he anticipate the emotional fallout? Did he consider that Camilla of all people deserved the conversation, not a press release? The fact that she had to confront him, that she had to demand answers, suggests that communication inside that family is as broken as it's ever been. For all the talk of modernization, the old Windsor habits of silence and avoidance are alive and well. The public response to all of this has been fascinating to watch. There's no groundswell of sympathy for Camilla the way there was for Diana. The public memory is long, and Camilla's past is not forgotten, but there is a growing sense of unease. People can sense when something is being managed too carefully. The coordinated headlines, the strategic photo opportunities, the sudden invisibility of the queen consort, it all feels a little too choreographed. And in an era where authenticity is valued above almost everything else, that level of control can backfire. The monarchy needs to be seen as human, not as a corporate entity executing the rebrand. When you start treating family members like liabilities to be managed, you risk losing the very thing that makes the monarchy relatable. Camilla's story, whatever people think of her, is a human story. It's messy and complicated and full of mistakes and redemption. Erasing her from the narrative doesn't make the monarchy look modern. It makes it look cold. There's also the question of what this means for the broader institution. The monarchy has survived for centuries by adapting, but adaptation has usually been slow, careful, and consensual. What William appears to be doing is accelerating that process dramatically. He's not waiting for his father to step aside. He's not waiting for public sentiment to shift organically. He's actively reshaping the institution in real time with or without the full cooperation of everyone involved. That kind of assertiveness might be necessary for survival in the modern era. It might even be admirable in a strategic sense, but it comes with costs. It creates fractures. As it generates resentment, it turns family relationships into power calculations. And once you start treating the monarchy like a business, you have to accept that businesses don't run on loyalty, they run on utility. Camilla's utility in William's eyes has expired. That's a brutal way to treat a stepmother who stood by your father for half a century. But William, by all accounts, is not sentimental. He watched his mother be destroyed by this institution. He's not going to let sentiment cloud his judgment about how to protect it. The question now is what Camilla does next. She has options, though none of them are good. She can accept her diminished role and fade gracefully into the background, attending the occasional event, smiling for the cameras, playing the part of the supportive concert until the end. That's the path of least resistance. It preserves her dignity. It avoids conflict. It allows Charles to maintain whatever peace remains in his final years. But it also means accepting defeat. It means watching her legacy be erased while she's still alive to witness it. It means knowing that everything she built will be remembered as a footnote for someone with Camilla's pride and resilience. That's a bitter pill to swallow. Alternatively, she can push back. She can demand a more visible role. She can use her access to Charles to advocate for herself. She can make it clear that she won't be sidelined without a fight. But that path is fraught with danger. It pits her directly against William, the future king. It creates headlines the palace can't control. It strains her relationship with Charles, who is already caught in an impossible position, and it risks turning public opinion against her again, because the public tends to side with youth in the future, not with the embattled consort of an aging king. Camilla knows this. She's too politically aware not to see the trap she's in. Every move she makes will be scrutinized, criticized, and used against her. Silence is surrender. Resistance is self-destruction. She's trapped between two impossible outcomes, and the person who put her there is her own stepson. There's a third possibility, one that nobody in the palace wants to contemplate. Camilla could simply withdraw. Not officially, not dramatically, but practically. She could spend more time at her private residence. She could reduce her public engagements voluntarily, not because she's been told to, but because she's tired of fighting. She could choose peace over relevance. For a woman who has spent her entire adult life in the crosshairs of public judgment, the appeal of a quiet life must be immense. No more briefings, no more strategy meetings, no more watching her name disappear from schedules. Just privacy, family, and the simple pleasures she enjoyed before the crown consumed everything. But that too would be a kind of defeat. And Camilla Shan didn't survive 50 years of royal warfare just to walk away quietly in the end. Whatever she decides, one thing is already clear. The era of Camilla as a central figure in the monarchy is over. The restructure has happened. The patronages have been reassigned. The spotlight has moved. The future belongs to William and Kate, and they are not waiting for permission to claim it. Camilla's story is not finished. She's still here. She's still the queen consort. She still has access, relationships, and decades of institutional knowledge. But the narrative has shifted. She's no longer the protagonist. She is a supporting character in someone else's reign. And for a woman who fought so hard to be seen, to be respected, to be acknowledged, that might be the hardest thing of all to accept. Not the loss of power, but the loss of relevance. The sense that after everything she endured, after all the waiting and the silence and the careful strategy, the story moved on without her. And the people who wrote the next chapter didn't even think she deserved a